I think the FN Reflex XL might be the best handgun FN makes. I say might because I know I'm currently in the honeymoon stages of this gun, but anytime I've felt this way about a gun from the onset, it usually stays that way, which I wish I could say the same about my dating history. FN has been making guns since like the 1800s, so saying this is probably their best handgun, especially after how much I gushed over their 545, is saying a lot. For whatever reason, FN sent me two versions of the XL, an FDE and a black version. Other than that, they're literally the same. That said, I struggle deciding on which one I prefer visibly. Now, I'm known for loving the color black.
You know what they say, once you go black, you're gonna need a wheelchair.
But as of late, FDE has really kind of been touching my heart. Really has. Don't worry, I still love you. Now, when I first got my hands on the FN Reflex, the micro compact version of this gun, I talked about how good it felt and how well it shot. It had limitations, mostly due to its size, but it still gave you solid capacity and shot really well. And a big reason for that was the single action only internal hammer-fired trigger. You see, hammer-fired triggers are an enigma of sorts. They're usually smoother than striker-fired triggers, but they're usually annoyingly longer and heavier triggers. But in single action, they can be absolutely beautiful. So when FN dropped the Reflex, I immediately noticed it was a short, smooth, and light trigger, at least compared to typical hammer-fired triggers. And now, FN dropped the Reflex XL. Now, this thing is in a weird size category, but I do love it. You see, I remember when gun sizes used to be simple. It was either full size, mid-size, or compact. Now there's full size, mid-size, kind of mid-size, compact, really compact, and micro compact. I know some of you thought I was going to make a gender joke somewhere, but you know.
Anyway,
the Reflex XL sits in that. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about something that'll keep you up at night. You know what's worse than someone trying to steal your gun? Someone trying to steal your entire house. It sounds insane, right? But according to the FBI, house stealing is a real thing. And no, I'm not talking about some guy dragging your house off in its foundation like a trailer park Fast and Furious stunt. This is cyber criminals using a one-page document to steal your home's title and take out loans against it or even sell it without you ever knowing. And when you do find out, it's not when it happens, it's not when they file the paperwork. You find out when some bank starts sending foreclosure notices to your mailbox. And by then, good luck. House alarms, doorbell cameras, and deadbolts won't do anything against this scam. One of the only things that can protect you is triple lock protection from Home Title Lock. They monitor your title 24/7, send you alerts the second something changes, and if the worst happens, they have restoration services at no out-of-pocket cost to you. I don't know about you, but I check my home title about as often as I check my MySpace, and that's exactly what these scammers are counting on. But here's what you can do. Get a free title history report and a 30-day free trial of triple lock protection today by going to HometitleLock.com and using our promo code Noir30, or just click the link in the description section. That's HometitleLock.com or promo code Noir30, because if someone's gonna own your home, it better be you.
All the ammo used in this video was brought to you by Nosler, maker of the most innovative, most accurate, and most effective bullets and ammunition in the industry.
Mid-size but compact space. It has the overall silhouette of a mid-size gun, but the thinness of a micro gun. And I think that's almost the perfect size for concealed carry at this point. Big enough to feel substantial, but small enough to conceal easily with no major compromises. You're not carrying a brick, but you're also not carrying a gun so small that it feels like a backup gun. Because trust me, all those micro guns are all nice and dandy until you're at a movie theater and that weird guy walks in with a full-size backpack that looks like it can hold a .308 rifle. True story, by the way. And is also the reason why anytime I go to the movies, I carry a full-size gun, but I digress. Now, if you're wondering what the difference is between a Reflex XL and the original Reflex, there really ain't that much of a difference. They're both chambered in 9mm. They both have internal hammer-fired single-action only triggers. Where they really differ is size. You get a 3.8-inch barrel here with a 6.75-inch overall length and a 1.08-inch width. Now that 0.08 is important. And here's where it really stands out. It's capacity. You see, I can get a 10-round magazine for this if you live in one of those weirdo states, but it actually fits 15 rounds flush, and then you get an 18-round extended magazine. Now, there was a time where the Glock 19 was considered the Goldilocks gun size-wise. Now I think guns like the Reflex XL, Springfield Hellcat Pro, and the 6 Hour X Macro have kind of taken the lead in that department. Now, when I picked up the Reflex XL for the first time, it felt so natural. That 0.08 inch of extra width makes a difference. When a gun is exactly 1 inch, you notice it, and it sometimes feels a little too thin. But that extra 0.08 inch, it's just enough to make the grip feel right. And I know some of you immature assholes out there are thinking about something totally different, but we're not gonna start on that. Now, keep in mind, everyone's hands are different. Me, I got hobbish-ish style hands. So big palms, shortish fingers, so I'm in that medium category. So for me, this gun sits perfectly in my hands, but I can see somebody with large hands loving this grip as well. Now, this is a point and shoot gun. And I don't mean that in the small, snappy way. I mean that when I press out, my body mechanics naturally lines up with my sights on this gun. On a concealed carry, defense-oriented gun, that is almost priceless. In a self-defense situation, there's a high chance you'll never see your sights, so your natural point of aim with a gun is incredibly important, which is why I love this gun so much, like every other gun that I found to have a natural point of aim with. If you train for instinctive shooting, basically where you shoot without using your sights, and have a hard focus on the target, you'll notice that you are way more accurate with some guns than you are with others shooting in this style. This Reflex XL is one of those really instinctive shooting guns for me. Now let's talk about these iron sights. You see, FN put a bright orange front sight on this gun, and I love it. Even when I'm not aiming directly, I get a quick flash that the sights are in my vision. It's just a great reference point for when you're shooting fast. It also has an optics cut, but here's my only gripe. The RMSC footprint, I get it. Like, the gun is thin, so it's hard to fit a bigger footprint optic like the Loophole Delta Point Pro. But I just don't love most micro red dots. Yeah, I run them, but reluctantly. They're better than irons, but I don't get excited about them. Now, like I said about this trigger,
What you say?
stupid smooth. There's no long pull, there's no heavy weight, just a clean, light take up and a smooth breakthrough. And because of that, I can shoot fast because it just sweeps through the trigger and allows me to just create this rhythm of the oh, it's so lovely. There's no hesitation in the trigger pull, no weird stacking, just press, sweep, fire. And that's exactly what I want in a carry gun. A 15-round flush fit is damn good in a gun this size. Granted, other guns in its class managed to squeak out an extra round and still managed to be a little bit smaller. But the XL makes up for it with that 18-round extended magazine, which is a round more than other guns in its class. Now, that said, I think the very slight size increase in the Reflex XL is what makes this gun special. It is right where it needs to be to feel like a big gun in a small package, cheat code type situation. So, is this really FN's best handgun? Right now, I'm leaning towards yes. But, keep these caveats in mind. Yeah, sure, it shoots great, it feels amazing, and it carries better than most FN handguns while giving you as close to a full-size gun experience without actually being a full-size gun. But I haven't shot it extensively enough to know how reliable it will be. And that's the only measuring tape that I have to decide whether or not it becomes part of my carry rotation or replaces something in my carry rotation. So I'm gonna put some more time behind this gun and see what the reliability happens to be like. So, the FN Reflex XL. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.